Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18, right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Each week, we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So, while you think you can do better than the plumber because you watched a YouTube video, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Not better, but maybe have the
Different?
yeah, let's go with that. Just saying, have the guts to try it.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. You and I are here, so that must mean it's time to bring in our mental monkey. Some say his voice is comforting, like bathing in warm milk. And others say he thinks kale is a communist plot. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Gentlemens, how you doing?
Yeah, bathing in warm kale and no.
You're going to bathe in warm kale.
I did earlier, so
Okay.
I'm all relaxed and mellow and ready for the show.
All kale and hardy.
Communist.
Sorry, Chris?
And communist.
Well, I didn't bathe with any communists,
No.
so it's all good.
How
We're
about
all
a
good.
cemetery plot?
Yeah, that's right. And that.
That's a different plot.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, not that much different actually.
I'm here with my two good friends and dozens of other friends here in the chat, which has been already super active, which is awesome. You guys talking about all kinds of things, and hopefully we'll be talking about our geocaching memories as we get into the show here. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Memory Lane souvenir promotion, but we're going to use it kind of as a leaping off pad to talk about some of our related personal geocaching memories. But we really want to hear from you guys about your geocaching memories of like topics. And what are those like topics? Well, you just stay tuned. You're going to find out.
Oh, I will.
Okay, you do that.
I might.
Okay. I really appreciate it when you guys stick with me for the rest of the podcast. It makes it a lot easier as opposed to when we leave Jim by himself to do a podcast.
I'm a legend in my own mind.
But he can do it. He can do a
do it.
podcast all by himself.
He's proven it. Yeah.
You know, if you spend enough time by yourself, you get good at it.
If you talk to yourself enough, you can be a podcaster.
Well, speaking of being a podcaster, it would be difficult for us to be podcasters without the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. And a special thanks, of course, to Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks is open again. They are allowing 3 people in the store at once. And hey, they encourage the use of credit or debit as opposed to cash, but they still encourage people to continue to shop online. And heck, you can have it delivered or you can pick it up in the store to reduce unnecessary contact. If you want to know more about supporting this sorry.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess I just heard a YouTube echo or something. All of a sudden, I thought someone else was talking. But hey, if you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on thecachingnw.com, a website.
Thank you so much. And some things that echo throughout time and space are glows. When you write a really good geocaching log, everybody knows about it, especially when it becomes a geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it, whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a field recording now that you can be out in the field again to feedback@cachingnw.com. You know, you can always call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool right there on the website and show us how you glow.
The glow.
Like the extra syllable I put in there?
Nicely done.
There are lots of extra syllables floating around the universe. It's nice that you find a place for them. Good job. Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome.
This week's glow, well, I hear it is very fresh. Contributed was it today I was told?
That's correct.
Nice. And it didn't come from a field recording or feedback@cachingnw.com email. It was from the Facebooks, which I only say it that way because it really annoys people when I do. This one says, I have a log to share. I'm not sure it's glow-worthy. It's a bit rambly, not particularly literary or humorous, and it's lacking in astonishing geocaching feats, but it is a cache that I will always remember getting. If you skip to the end, you'll see why. It's June 2nd log for GC8 MVFA called Junk in the Trunk, number 16 by Island Finders. And the log reads, Found! Curly Q42 and I worked together on this one today. We'd heard that we might need either a special tot or special ingenuity in order to retrieve this one, once we finally located it, which wouldn't be easy. I always carry a lot of tots with me, but there is one I've borrowed from a friend a couple times that I thought might be useful here, so I put out a request, and the request was granted. First thing was getting to ground zero. Very glad we got here before the rain really started, or might have been even more challenging. And then the searching started. Took a while, but eventually we spotted it. Loved the camo. Now, of course, for the retrieval. Was very happy I borrowed my friend's tool of the trade because it came in very handy, though it took some time and teamwork. I'm sure we could have built a tool of the trade or jerry-rigged one from a few other things, but it's nice to not have to. Once signed, on to the replacement. This was even more challenging than the retrieval and probably took us twice as long, but persistence and patience did the trick. It's a good thing smileys are rewarded for success and not for style. Oh, by the way, did I mention that this entire time we kept getting interrupted by urgent texts and calls from my realtor? I ended up buying a house at this cache. One to remember for sure. TFTC.
That is awesome.
Love that. I don't think I've ever bought a house in a cache.
No. So congratulations on your new house, first of all.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Congratulations. That gives you a whole new territory to start caching.
Ooh, yeah. Or placing caches as well.
Ooh.
Nice. Well, and
Hey,
we
folks.
will.
Oh.
No,
go.
go for it, man. You go.
So if you have something memorable you want to add tonight in our little trip down memory lane, use the hashtag lane in the chat to add to tonight's discussion. Of course, you can always use hashtag Batas to bring something up in the after show. Batas for the after show. You see how we did that? Yeah, I think we're clever too.
Octothorpe Lane. Right there tonight.
What?
Octothorpe Lane.
I don't know what we're talking
I think that's where he bought the house. It was on Octothorpe Lane.
Was on Octothorpe Lane?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris is just smiling and nodding.
I don't.
Jump back in the pool. The water's fine.
I'm afraid to. I don't know what's in the pool.
You guys are so mean to me. Yeah. Yeah, we are. Every Thursday.
What else are you going to do? The internet's ground to a halt.
That's right. May as well just abuse Chris. I mean, that's what I do on Thursday nights.
Okay, hey, you know what we got?
What do we got?
We got trouble right here in River City.
The capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Jump back in the pool. The water's fine. Now, what else you got?
I don't know. Circular logic. Okay.
Hey, we got a promotion. We got a souvenir promotion we're going to talk
That's what
about.
I was trying to get to. The souvenir promotion, the Memory Lane souvenir promotion from geocaching.com has kicked off, and you can get points. You know, for a geocache that you hide, just the first one. No, wait. I'm thinking, here's the points.
Oh, you're looking. Oh, yeah. So
I'm doing it backwards.
I messed you up almost on purpose, but not really on purpose.
I'm like doing the backstroke in the pool, and I can't figure out what's going on. I'm like doing the upside down backstroke or something.
So you want to be looking down here where it says how to.
I was thinking the points. We'll talk about the points and then what the points give you.
Okay.
A simple found it log, which we all have, and many more to come. That's worth 5 points. A found an adventure lab cache, that's worth 5 points, but I'm hearing that's not working right now.
Oh,
There may be an issue with that at the moment. Now, if you find a multi-cache or a mystery cache, that's worth 7 points. That's better than 5. And if you find a geocache with 10 or more favorite points, really, that's pretty easy to do. That's worth 10 points. Now, there's a trick. You can't get more than 10 points per cache find. So you can't stack these and try to get this done super quick. No.
That was a good try, though.
Yeah, it was nice. What do those points get you? Once all those points start building up, you're going to get souvenirs.
A warm feeling in the cockles of your heart?
Like warm bathing in warm milk.
Yes.
And kale.
You're really selling this.
Trying. Anybody want warm milk?
Anybody want warm kale? To
Pasteurized?
Kale?
No, just up to my waist.
Yeah. Oh, 10 points gets you the first souvenir, memory lane, first geocache hit. 50 points gets you the first geocoin, and that's a souvenir, not an actual geocoin. 100 points gets you the first mega event. Ooh. 150 points gets you 1 million geocaches hidden. And 200 points gets you 20 years of geocaching.
I don't know what I'm going to do with 1 million geocaches.
You know, I
don't think I have to worry about it.
These are kind of interesting milestones. You know, first geocache hidden, first geocoin, first mega event. Those are very personal, right? Then you jump to 1 million geocaches hidden. Well, that's not personal. That's, the group. And 20
unless you've hidden 1 million yourself.
Well, maybe GSM times 2 has.
Yeah,
it's possible.
He's on track anyways.
So, yeah. And then, 20 years of geocaching. Well, if you started early enough, you could be 20 years of geocaching. But interesting indeed.
I see that we're missing some cues. Apparently, we're supposed to say 1 million geocaches. There you go. Well done, Jim.
1 million geocaches. Isn't that just an extended weekend for the monkeys?
Or a normal weekend.
Well, when you get an extra holiday, you can get up to 1 million.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to have to do the logging for 1 million geocaches.
Doramore says the souvenir promotion has inspired me to get back out there.
Awesome.
Hey, well, very nice.
Cool,
good job,
right?
Doramore.
Yeah.
In spite of the banjo music.
No one held up a pinky when they said 1 million.
There you go.
1 million geocaches. Yes.
What? Why do you do that? What? I mean, I know the movie reference, but what is the pinky to the? I don't.
It's the movie reference. It's just
classified.
what Dr. Evil does. There's nothing more to it. That's just
pretty much it.
Okay.
Let's not make this more than it is, okay? Chris looks for the deeper meaning, and
I must know. Well, this is a little slow tonight. I'm clicking off. I'm not clicking where I'm supposed to be clicking.
Or you and the chat lackey fighting each other.
Maybe.
Hands off. I'm not clicking anything.
No, I mean, I went to go click it, and it didn't respond right away, and it ended up clicking the next one down.
Yeah, click it or ticket.
The chat lackey put his hands up, too. It's all you, buddy. You're messing it up all by yourself.
So what I want to know is, Keith wants to know, has a cacher actually logged 1 million finds yet?
Wow, that is an excellent question. I imagine, as Brylang says in the chat, Project GC is your friend.
That's true.
Probably the best way to find that out.
If you could find somebody that, invented geocoins and ask him, he might have some ideas too.
That's also possible. That seems like somebody who would know that kind
somebody
of fact.
that would had invented those would probably know quite a bit.
Yes, I would imagine. All right.
I don't think Is that Alamo Gull? A la
Uh,
Mogul?
I
I
guess.
haven't managed that yet.
A la peanut butter sandwiches.
Ooh,
Nice. There's a good Sesame
he
Street
seems to be
reference.
the leader. So
All right. Well, hey, while we're talking about finding and hiding geocaches, since the first souvenir in this series is the recognition of the first geocache hidden, and they're talking about the original stash, but do you guys recall the first geocache that you hid?
Sorry, I was just thinking my original stash.
it's
yeah,
No.
very original.
that was well played.
So,
That's all I got.
Yes, I remember mine. I was proud of my first hide. It was a puzzle cache,
yes, it was.
and it was one that, everything on the page was meant to lead you down a rabbit trail. You actually had to be on site to solve this, and it was at a grocery store, and you had to do my shopping for me. Now, so convenient that was. Since it's no longer active, should I just tell you what it was? If you went through in order and found the things on the shopping list, you would have gone to the aisle numbers that gave you the coordinates. And I kind of felt guilty one time when one of the hiders came to me afterwards and said, "Yes, I walked in there with a sheet printed out, and it had this shopping list on it." And the store manager said, "Oh, can I help you find these things?"
Well, yes, but
No,
you're going to
not
be very
really.
disappointed by the end.
So I was like, that didn't work right. That one
different idea for
archived because I hid it into a nook on a tree, and that nook slowly consumed the cache.
Yeah.
they do that. Those darn
Yeah. Because it was a puzzle, it wasn't found that often.
right.
So.
There's the usual initial rush once it starts getting solved, and then kind of that's an interesting idea for a puzzle cache. I've never seen one done that way before. So kudos to you.
There you go. Feel free to take it, use it, and give me credit and let me be first to find. Other than that, it's yours.
Awesome. All right. Wits End, my friend. Do you recall your first cache that you hid?
I do. Digital Communication was the name of it. It's also been archived, no longer there. The location is no longer there. I mean, of course, the coordinates exist, but the object it was hidden in is no longer there. I got into geocaching and was excited about it, and I remember finding some place online that sold geocaching apparatus, paraphernalia, pick your word. Land sharks weren't around yet, as I recall. But my wife found it and bought me a very large pine cone, about the size of a good softball or so, that had a kind of a pill bottle drilled and buried in the stem of it down deep.
Wow.
And I was so excited, and my in-laws thought I was nuts opening a present on Christmas morning. Then I was very excited about a pine cone in a box.
Yay, pine cone!
It's like, oh, that's cool. They're like, it's a pine cone.
We're giving him a branch.
But it's
Yeah.
a secret pine cone.
So then I showed him and explained it and all, and I hid it in a tree in a parking lot. And there was an Elks Lodge in Tacoma that I frequented, and there was a couple of the little parking lot islands kind of that had 3 or 4 large trees in them apiece, and I hid it up in there, and it was great fun. And it wasn't. I drove past it every morning on my way to work at the time. The parking lot is now the parking lot of a Walmart, and those trees are no longer there. But it was great fun, and I even had a few people that I went over, and they were stumped, and I went over and helped them, kind of nudged them in the right direction and stuff, because like I said, it was just, probably half a mile from where I worked at the time, so it was easy to run over there at lunchtime and meet them. And I still remember the morning as I'm driving to work. As I often did, I glanced over to the right and looked in the parking lot to see if somebody was looking for it, because that part of the parking lot was usually empty. So if there was a car there, they were probably a geocacher. And I looked over there, and all of the trees had been limbed about 6 feet off the ground.
Oh no.
So I'm pretty sure that pine cone, went through a chipper shredder and was never heard from again.
Brutal.
So I'd love to say, and here it is, I still have it, but no, it's long gone. So I replaced it with a nano hanging on a coat hanger up on a limb. It wasn't nearly as much fun. But there's still some great memories. I think somewhere I might still have a log sheet when it filled up and I swapped it out and kept that log sheet. I don't remember if I still have that somewhere or not. That was my first one. It was fun. And it was all based around binary numbers because I'm a nerd.
True that.
Digital communication.
That's right. And not the kind you use on the freeway.
That's a different type of digital communication.
Yes, it is. Different digits. How about you, sir?
Well, there's a theme here. The first cache I ever hid is also archived. It was actually part of a series of, I think there was 3 caches, a bonus, and then a final in the series.
Wow.
And they were placed spanning from almost downtown Vancouver out to Langley here, where I live. And the very first one was called the Willow Series #1. It was in a cute little micro park between Vancouver General Hospital and Granville Island. And I often walked there when I used to work in that area. And it was a pretty straightforward little hide. I'm trying to remember what it actually was. I think it might have been a fake rock. I'm trying to remember what the hide itself actually was. But there was nothing terribly special about it, although it was part of the whole series, which was a fun series. And I was pretty happy with the way that all worked out when I put it together and had it going. Eventually the series got archived and things move on, but we've got some feedback from I have a follow-on question, but before I get to it, we have some feedback from our live audience that I want to also speak to.
I was going to start with Kuhn and Bud breaking a trend.
What's that?
They said yes, and it's still active.
Well, there you go.
Good
Congratulations. As I said, Limax says his first cache was hidden under a bench.
Mm-hmm.
Keats' first cache. Wow. Yeah, Keats' first cache is Keats Explorer cache.
It's
still
there
there.
after 2 years.
10 years.
Oh, it's not binary. Sorry.
Yeah, after 10 years, not 2 years.
Okay.
I have found that one. That's a great location, but you do need to verify the terrain rating before you head for it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one to get to, but it's a really good one. Carlos says he remembers his first. It's called Walk the Line. He wasn't proud of it, and it's been archived.
Well, we all started somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no shame in not being proud of the first cache.
Right.
You're just excited to get one out there and have other people find it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, maybe I can do that.
I'm not particularly proud of my very first podcast episode.
It's true.
Dora Moore said her first hide was together with Nankikoro. They spotted the hiding place and looked at each other and both said, "This is a great spot for a cache." And it's also still there.
Oh.
There you go. We've broken the trend now.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're going back here to Kid Vegas 19 says, I remember my first hide. Archived it on its 10th birthday to refresh the board.
Nice. That's a good reason to
for a
archive.
first hide is pretty good.
Yeah, 10 years is really good. Boomer 365 says his first cache is hidden near where he lives. It is a lock and lock, and it's still active.
Okay, and that lock and lock was purchased at Landsharks, I think he said somewhere.
I think he said that a little later. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And Lookout Lisa hid her first cache in 2002, the Thanksgiving cache.
Oh.
There you go. So I guess my follow-on question here. Oh,
by the way, the first hide is still active.
Congratulations, Lisa. There you go. Quality cache.
Quite the track record, 18 years.
No kidding. So my follow-on question is, if you could perhaps go back in time, would you do anything different with your first hide? And then I guess related to that, what advice would you have for anyone hiding their very first geocache? And I get it, this could be an episode all unto itself.
It could, and I'm glad
So
you restricted it to just geocaching, because if I could go back in time, oh boy, are there things I would change. But we won't go down that road. That's a very long, sad road. My biggest advice is to steal a line from Nike and say, just do it. Like Carlos said, he's not proud of it. Hey, my first hide, while it was fun and I have some fun memories of it, it wasn't the most epic stellar hide in the world, but it was out there and some people enjoyed finding it, I think. So, do it. Get out there and do it.
I agree. So if I could turn back time.
If I could find my way.
Yeah. We should write songs together. I wouldn't have hid a puzzle cache for my first one because, there wasn't that many finds on it. So, you put it out there, you publish, great. And nothing, and nothing, and nothing. This isn't fun anymore. So, but I did put out regular cache, which found probably 100 times, to each find of the puzzle. So, what about you, Land Monkey? What would you do?
I feel like I actually did an okay job with that. I think the one thing I would do is maybe have kept up on the maintenance a little more. It's something I certainly learned about putting out a series right out of the gate. The first caches I put out were a series of 5 caches. And spread across the Lower Mainland. I learned soon after that I had bitten off quite a bit, and it wasn't quite more than I could chew, but it was more than I thought I would have to chew. Let's put it that way. So I guess the advice I would have is, in the excitement of placing your first cache, keep in mind you also have a responsibility to maintain said cache. So think about that aspect of it as you plan deploying your first cache. So yeah, that's the advice I would
Very
share.
well said. Mm-hmm.
And Carlos commented that he wouldn't change a thing. Learned so much through the process of putting out that first cache. So,
and to answer his question, yes, we just quoted Cher.
Well, or did Cher quote us?
All depends on who went back in time.
Yeah. Oh, aren't we silly this evening?
We are silly.
Little
But you know what's not silly? Well, some people I might consider silly, but talking about trackables and geocoins. To some people, those are very serious business. Do you guys remember the very first trackable geocoin or thing like that you found?
Oh my goodness. Close to 1,500 trackables moved at this point in time because we absolutely love discovering and moving trackables from one place to another. We got into that very, very early in the game. We figured it out. I think like everybody else, the first time we picked one up out of a cache, I was like, what is this? So it definitely would have been on Vancouver Island because that's where we started caching. And I know within the first few caches, we had figured out the trackables, thanks to social media and friends who helped us understand what the heck was going on. But yeah, I absolutely have no idea what would be the first one. I'm just glad they exist because I think it is a really fun game within the game. I really enjoy the trackable aspect of the game. Chris, what about you?
I do remember my first trackable that I moved. It was a little motorcycle, and back in the day, you had to pick it up, bring it back to the computer and say, okay, what did this want to do? Mm-hmm. Oh, this wants to travel along the interstates. So I've got to go find a cache along an interstate and leave it there. Luckily, there was a travel bug motel that wasn't, was right off a interstate exit. That was easy. But I remember doing it. I was excited. I was like, ooh, I have this. I wonder what it wants to do. Well, I have to go home and find out. Now you don't have that issue anymore. But I remember my first geocoin that I can't remember, though, if I received it or if I bought it. But this is it right here. It's a Washington State geocoin, but not a Washington State Geocaching Association coin. So
So
go.
where was it from? Like, who created it if it wasn't from the WSGA?
It says home of the world headquarters, geocaching.com.
Oh, so it's from HQ.
2004.
So possibly HQ made it.
It could be.
Well, that's really cool.
Here's the front of it.
Oh.
So
It's a nice coin.
it's a nice coin, yeah. And it was the first one I remember receiving.
Seabeck Tribe has that one too.
Oh,
There
nice.
you go.
Okay, Seabeck Tribe, where did you get it? See if you can remember better
Let's
than
see
I
who
can.
can figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. Wits End and I really got into trackables. I mean, I had one and I moved the motorcycle, and that was fun. And but I remember the yellow Jeep contest, and this is 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Wits End and I really got into trackables. Wits End?
I was into the yellow Jeeps. I had a watch on the local Travel Bug Hotel at the local park and ride. Really wanted to find one of those. Now, of course, there's yellow and white and green and that kind of stuff, and I don't think I found
Red.
most of them, but red ones, yeah. But I just thought that was really cool. Part of it is because, well, I've wanted to own a Jeep since I was like 14 years old, but that'll never happen. So I thought, oh, well, at least I can get this. So I found one of those. I do remember, though, my very first, excuse me, my very first trackable I ever found. I thought they were a really cool concept. Truth be told, I've kind of lost interest in them now. But then I thought they were really cool. And I was over visiting my in-laws in Idaho, where I've found quite a few. And it says that I retrieved this on the 26th of November, 2004. And the number of the trackable is Chibi GT49, so it's kind of a short one. And it's called Quackers Ahoy. I remember it was a little tiny duck. And I'm going to show you even if I can find, there you go. Sure. There he is, little tiny duck on a keychain, on a trackable.
That's a tiny duck.
Yeah, little tiny duck. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, and I put a watch on it, and I tracked it all over its travels.
And Wits End may have hit the wrong button to stop sharing.
Oh, I think so. So he'll be back
He'll
momentarily.
be back with his tiny duck.
Yeah.
Dora Moore says,
Here he comes.
Yeah.
hello. Oh,
Hey.
that was a great story. Thank you, Wits End.
Yeah, I tracked that thing around the world, and it took him right out of the room. So I don't know what happened. My whole browser just like froze and glitched, and I don't know
gee.
what happened. So, but I overcame.
You're back. And that
So
was
Quackers
quick.
Ahoy was archived in 2010, by the way.
Aw. Wits End going down memory.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you're old. I don't have anything now to be proud of. I have to be proud of the things from 15 years ago.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh, and get those kids off your lawn.
That's great. So Dora Moore shared. Sorry. First, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say that IHAM says, I found a collection of all the Jeep colors together.
I remember that.
GC17 a few summers back.
Wow, that's unique.
An entire parking lot of trackables right there.
Yeah, there's a few folks who commented about that. GSM times 2, it said his favorite trackable to find and move on was from the Jeep promotion. Was there anybody else who talked about no, I think that was, yep. Oh no, we talked about that one already. Okay, yeah. So then Dora Moore had shared that she said, all my trackables have gone missing, so I take less joy in them now than I used to. And yeah, that does happen with that part of the game for sure.
I'm caught up now.
Carlos had said that he remembers. Yeah, he says, in fact, I've recently received it back after a 3-year hiatus. Wow, that's pretty unusual.
Nice.
Good job. Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to see the first coin I launched again. It bounced around, went to Germany, bounced forever, and then gone.
Yeah.
The European black hole.
Yeah, pretty much.
With coins.
It probably went near CERN and disappeared.
Could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Climax. I think my first trackable was a NASCAR trading card that was in a trackable race. Needless to say, it didn't get very far before it disappeared.
Must have hit stop.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Renwad had, we've traveled to Vegas for vacation, and everyone that cached at the time dropped off a trackable there. Then we watched them race home. Two of the three never made it.
Hmm.
There you go.
Aw.
So we know who won.
Yeah.
One that was not the other two. Yeah,
Uh,
the only one to survive.
yeah.
That's right.
IHAM shares his first trackable was a Kansas geocoin in mid 2004. No color, just stamped in brass.
Hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Don't think I've seen one like that.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
The smart couple who drive a smart car, we learned. The first trackable was very Canadian. Trackable attached to a Timmy's gift card, and its goal was to have pictures at Timmy's all over Canada.
Nice. I love it.
That is very Canadian.
That is very Canadian. Trexer recalls his first geocoin came with the completion of his first geo tour. Congratulations
Oh,
on that.
nice.
Congrats. And
Yeah.
you want to bring up Jim? You want to read Doramore's?
Dormore says, I found a trackable named Sunglass Steve. He was from Kentucky. Wanted to visit a beach, so I got a face cloth and a drink umbrella and took pics of him lying on his towel under the umbrella. Well
Sounds
done.
very Doramore-ish to do something
Well
like
done.
that. That's awesome. I love it.
I was
And,
scrolling through looking through my, I don't have 1,500 to choose from, so I'm trying to find, but I'm not finding what I was looking for. But one of the most memorable travel bugs that are trackables that I found was, I think it was a bison tube, actually, but it had, whether you think this is fun or gross, it had somebody's cremains in it. He said, my dad always wanted to travel to, and that's why I was trying to look it up. I can't remember what he wanted to travel to.
okay.
Burger joints is what comes to mind. And so please take this trackable to burger joints. So I did. I took him, I was going to California and took him to an In-N-Out and took a picture with him there and moved it on to another cache somewhere.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's that's different. Kuhn and Bud shared that his first promotional trackable was one from the diabetic series. He says foreshadowing as he later found out that he is diabetic. So
Okay.
there you go. Interesting little story there for sure. Now, switching gears a little bit, I'm curious for you guys and for our listeners, if you enjoy the part of the game where you pick up trackables, of course, you also have to move them along somewhere. And we talked a little bit about, Chris, you talked about finding highway, roadside, TB hotels. Jim, you've talked about finding some places to take trackables. How do you guys, and listeners, yourselves as well, how do you assess where is an optimal place to drop a trackable off?
That's a really good question.
It is.
On some of these hikes we go on, you're going to a lonely cache, or maybe it's just a good long hike. And do you really want to put a trackable in a cache like that that's not going to be found as often as, a TB hotel or some, urban hide where it's going to get found, 10 times a month? That's, is it worth it to hike up there for this particular trackable, or is it better for it to move? That's always been my dilemma.
Well, it depends. I guess sometimes there's some trackables where their mission is, I want to be on the top of mountains, right?
Yeah.
In which case, that's where you bring it. If you happen to be a cacher who goes to places like that. Jim, what about you?
Or you go to events and find somebody that is going up to mountaintops.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the answer is always it depends. But as we've said, whether the old days when you had to go home and look on the computer, or nowadays when you can just pull up a smartphone app, the first place that I try to find where to drop a cache is, where does it want to go? Am I going someplace that might help fulfill its mission? And then the next thing, like Chris mentioned, is I try to find a cache that has a lot of traffic. Travel bug hotels are great. Some cache with a lot of favorite points are great. But I try not to do stuff that are multis or puzzles or high difficulty, high terrain ones that probably aren't going to be found very frequently. Because I know how frustrated I got when my trackables that I released in the wild disappeared or just stalled for long periods of time, and I don't want to do it to somebody else.
Well, Donna agrees with you. She says never put trackables in hard puzzle caches.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to get found very often. That's good advice. There's all kinds of great advice coming in from you guys in the live audience. That's awesome. I really appreciate that.
In the last several years, I've just kind of stopped doing trackables.
Yeah.
I tend to, if I grab them, I like, okay, I'll move them on in a couple of days, and then my mind goes elsewhere and I forget about them, and it's not worth it. I mean, it's not, no, that wasn't the right wording. It's not showing respect to the trackable owner to keep them for so long without moving them on. And that's the issue I have. It's like, I need to move this along, and I'm not going to do it, so I'm not going to move it.
Because I've done that unintentionally.
Exactly.
I'll open my bag and it's like, oh no, I've had that trackable for 6 months. Then I feel terrible, and I've emailed the owner, I'm so sorry. Didn't realize this was here.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting tons of great advice in the chat, and I'm not sure if I can even keep up with all of it. But
wake the chat lackey up.
Yeah, chat lackey, come on! What you doing? You taking a nap there or something? All right, we're getting the keep it moving sign here. B Pendragon said the optimal place is a normal cache near the goal itself, or a TB hotel near an airport. The secondary is anywhere at all.
Yeah, that falls under the just do it.
Hashtag. Yeah, I think so.
Well, go ahead.
I was just to say, Robin said drop them off at newer caches because they'll be visited soon by people who understand how the game works, which is some good advice as well.
Well, I like Carlos because he agrees with me. And I don't think we need to go any farther, but he does say early interest in trackables, but lately not so much.
And there you go.
Yeah, if I get some now, I try to take them to event. Back in the old days when we used to actually have events, I would take them to events and try to find somebody else that could move them along.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's been mixed views in the chat about taking trackables to events. So some are in favor and some are opposed. And I think one of the people, I think it was GSM times 2, had some good advice where he said he takes them to events, but actually makes a note of who he handed it to. So there's a little bit of accountability there.
Yeah.
That he actually doesn't just drop it off, but he hands it to somebody and makes a note of who. There you go. I usually take trackables to events, add a mega, I hand them to people and write down who I handed them to. So that's really good advice.
That's good. You can also, if you are, shall we say, gifted with a very large, obnoxious trackable that you don't know what to do with, you could leave it on the hood of somebody else's geomobile at a trailhead during a cache machine. Hypothetically speaking.
Yep.
I've heard that may have happened at some point.
Ironing board.
IHAM says if it's a mountain bike coin, it is worth the hike.
There you go. I liked Kun and Bud.
Sorry.
Bring that one back up.
I don't know which one it was. I lost it. I apologize.
Okay, stop clicking things. I clicked it.
Hands off.
Turning it off.
Hands back. Kun and Bud said, don't you just hate those giant TVs? My caching buddy grabbed a guardrail trackable. Yes, it was a guardrail. That's a big TV.
I have ideas now.
I've seen the cinder block. I've seen the car door.
Yeah.
Yep.
You take the events and the poor event host has to take them home because nobody else is going to touch them.
Right.
Do you guys remember? I think it was at the last block party. Somebody had, it was a gigantic stuffed chili pepper, and it was like 6 feet tall. It was huge. Did you see that one? No.
Doesn't ring a bell, but
I just seem to remember somebody walking around with it. I was like, man, I am not taking that.
Was he on a stick?
Yeah. Should have been if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Rory says, I don't like putting them in events. Sometimes they just disappear.
And there you go. All right.
Yeah, that's the one I was just going to click on. Rule number 1 is never be the last person at the event, lest you end up with all the leftover trackables.
Exactly.
Thanks, I am.
Oh, how about a fridge door?
Yeah.
A splice plate for a railroad track?
Ooh, that'd be heavy.
Yeah. Small, dense, and heavy. Kind of like me.
Look out, Lisa says, I shipped that fridge door to GeoWoodstock in Tennessee. Oh, the old days.
Ah, yes.
I remember Lookout Lisa had in the cache cave several large trackables at one time.
Yes.
That
Land Sharks have a few large ones in their store as well. But yes, I remember Lisa at a previous one definitely had some big ones. Before we get to the next question, I just want to read out Dora Moore's message from the chat here. And she said, I was given a mannequin head trackable that wanted to go from England to headquarters. I didn't take it. I couldn't figure out whether to pack it in my carry-on or my checked bag. Either way, nope.
That's an interesting conversation in security.
Right?
Is this your bag? Is there a head in here?
I think I would have just carried it outside the bag as my personal item.
Well, they say 2 heads are better than 1.
Just in a brown paper bag.
There you go.
All right. Oh, too funny.
Okay.
Let's go back to events.
Trackables all night.
Yeah.
We could talk about our first caches all night. You know what? Instead, let's talk about mega events. The first mega event you attended, we'll talk about that all night.
All right. For the rest of the night, anyways.
So my first mega event was GeoWoodstock 8 right here in the Great Northwest.
Very
Wait,
cool.
What GeoWoodstock is coming up?
18.
18
later.
10 GeoWoodstocks later.
Yeah.
Is that a coincidence? I don't
think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all been planned, very carefully organized. So that would have been back in 2010.
Yeah.
And that was whereabouts in Washington was that?
Carnation. Yeah.
Where in Carnation is that city?
Yeah, exactly. It's what is it? Northeast of Seattle.
Yeah, east side, kind of rural.
More east.
Snohomish County.
Okay. I don't think I've ever been there.
It's very nice. It's a nice area out there.
Yeah. Very, open.
Yeah.
Farmland type.
Some beautiful country out in Carnation and Duval, Woodinville. I'm going to mess up my geography there if I keep going.
Okay. I've been to, I think I must have been close to, maybe I've been through it and I just didn't
You probably
realize.
have, yeah.
I was gonna say, I've been to pretty much most of Washington State now. So.
And you have yet to get to Carnation?
Well, I just don't recall it. So there
You've
you
probably
go.
been there.
All right, Jim, how
For
about you?
me, well, I was, if not for your diligent research and prep work, I would have answered the same as Keats94, who said, I've never been to Omega, but I will next year. Because I didn't remember that I had. I've never actively sought out going to Omega, but according to your research here, my Going Ape event in 2011 was the first mega event I attended. So go figure.
And you've been to quite a few Going Ape events, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few. They've been fun. Last couple, I've ridden the tunnel, I've biked the tunnel, and I have sat in the CNW tent and met some fabulous listeners.
Ignored the tunnel.
Yes, something like that.
Yes, there's a tunnel over there.
And Mr. Monkey?
Also
Kale
Going Ape. Also Going Ape, but not the one. So your first one was in 2011. Well, 2 years after that, in 2013, was my first mega event, Going Ape, August 18th, 2013, which was almost exactly a year after I had started geocaching.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So you're more efficient.
That was, and we were hooked. We loved the Going Ape events. It is just such a great, it's a different kind of mega. It's a very laid back mega event. And
probably why I like it.
Yeah, as Jim says, it's a great place to just hang out with the host from Caching in the Northwest and just have a good time.
Yeah, because as a general rule, I shun large crowds, but if I can just kind of hole up in the CNW tent and meet people in small groups, then I'm good.
There you go. And going over to the chat, as you said, Keats said he's never been to a mega. Sad face. but I will next year.
That's
Happy
right.
face.
Next year.
What's that?
Oh, next year. Let's say IHAM says GeoWoodstock 8. I remember running into Chris, Ben the bad cop, at lunch. And we had only met on Twitter previously.
Very cool.
And he ruins the day.
Yeah.
Usually I ruin the day.
Trexer says GeoCoinvest in Seattle was his first mega. He was convinced to go by this very podcast.
Oh, well, there you go.
We're
how about
glad.
that?
I wish I could have gone. I had to work that weekend.
Yeah, you were missed. It was Chris and I were there, but we had you in spirit. We had your
I was gonna say, did it look like this?
It did. It looked exactly like that.
Oh, let's see. Kid Vegas 19 says same as Chris. GeoWoodstock 8.
There you go. GeoWoodstock 10 in Indiana was Coon and Bud's first mega event. GSM times 2, it was the swag event in Yuma.
Ah, Yuma. I was there 4th of July weekend one year.
Oh,
That was
boy.
hot and miserable. Star Cashier said Midwest Geobash in 2013, same year as Land Monkey.
There you go. 3 Hams and a Rose thinks his first mega was the last block party, but that's not really a mega. So going ape the next day. And yes, technically the block party didn't count as a mega. So when I was calculating our first mega events, I didn't include block parties in that.
Yeah, I was going to say it took a long time for us to hit a mega because they didn't have them at first. And
yeah,
let's see. Rory says the best of the bad in 2011. So was there a lot of bad events in 2011 and he just went to the best of them?
Pretty much, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a West Can event, if I recall.
Ah.
All right, what else we got?
Carlos said going ape 10 or going ape X.
Yep, that is indeed a mega.
It's a mega. Going ape has been a mega for several years.
It has.
Boomer says going ape in 2017.
Nice.
Dora Moore, I accidentally attended a block party in 2011. We were on a regular road trip in our early caching days and went through Seattle. What's this? Had no idea of the significance.
Wow. Well, good thing you decided to stop by and check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Seabeck Tribe says going ape 2014.
Very cool. Can you find Geo Travelers? Oh, you got it.
There you go.
She says GeoWoodstock in 2010 was her first mega, unless you count the unofficial ape event the day prior.
2009 or 2010, I think. Oh, with GeoWoodstock. Yes, that was a mega.
Yeah, but she's not sure if the ape event the day prior was a mega as well.
The ape event that year was a mega. Yes.
Oh, okay. There you go.
2 in one weekend. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Alan Richter says Spring Fling in Ontario 2010. Oh, yes. It was the bad lands of Alberta.
There you go. Perfect.
That's where Leroy Brown hangs out.
Gene Meese is GeoWoodstock 9.
Very cool.
So lots of GeoWoodstocks, lots of going apes.
2014 block party.
That's all looking back. But how about looking forward? What do you think the next mega event that you'll attend will be?
Well, I'm, obviously I'm going to say, GeoWoodstock 18 is going to be in there somewhere. I'm still semi-optimistic that maybe there'll be some mega event before August of next year that we can get to. I guess it all depends, right? I mean, I've kind of written off this year, at least in the Northwest, our mega season kind of runs out by August. Like there's really not much else going up here in the Northwest, mega event wise, once we get past August. And since it doesn't look like we're going to be having any mega events before or during that time period, I'm kind of thinking we're at a wrap. So it'll be 2021. I'm hoping, I guess the earliest one I would get to in 2021 is probably going to be Tri-Cities GeoCoin Challenge.
That was my guess, was Tri-Cities. That's usually a mega.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. How about you, Chris? What do you think?
That's probably the same for me.
We got to get Jim out there this year or next year.
Next year.
You get a year.
Assuming we're
report on
not
that.
assuming we're not still quarantined
Yeah.
by then. I have changed jobs, so odds are much better that I can work my schedule to be at one of those events.
That would be awesome. Get you out there. We
I
can drive
haven't heard
around.
the entire Tri-Cities history lesson yet.
That's
Oh
what
yeah,
was
I can tell you all about the Tri-Cities and how things have changed.
I do, though, remember visiting Chris when he lived in the Tri-Cities. So
Yes, at 1110 Pompano Court.
Pompano Court, yes. Binary address.
Oh, too funny.
14,
Yeah, I was
I
going to
think,
say,
right?
you
So-
haven't experienced the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge
Yeah.
until you've experienced it. with Chris
I've
on the Northwest.
experienced Roy's Western Smorgy, which is no longer there. So
Ah,
I lived history with Mr. Northwest.
there you go. There you go. All right. Well, we've
should-
got a few more
I should get a
comments here,
tour
but
bus next year.
what's that?
I should get a tour bus next year,
Yes.
Ooh.
and we'll go around the Tri-Cities, and I will tell everybody on the bus how it used to be.
Make sure it's got
On your
a
left.
limousine liquor license for the rest of us.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
To make him a little more tolerable.
I didn't say that. I'm just in it for the booze. No, it's not.
Land Monkey, your words hurt.
Carlos is calling shotgun on your bus.
Okay.
I don't know if you
too
need a
funny.
shotgun. You just need a hook.
Oh, too funny.
and a door lock to keep them from running out.
Yeah, that helps. No safety issues there whatsoever. We've got a few more comments, but maybe what we'll do is we'll take the extra comments we have and we'll put them into hashtag FATAS. We'll put them into the after show because we are running up to an hour now, so we should probably wrap up the regular show. But we got tons of after show tonight, guys. You guys have been sharing lots of fun stuff here, and it's been a fun episode talking about some of our firsts and and also hearing from everybody in the live chat about some of your great geocaching memories. And we've got tons more of them to talk about in the after show. So stay tuned.
So, folks, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode because we sure did. We've been talking. Join us next week. But until then, Land Monkey, what do you want to say? Until next week.
Until next week, well, you know what I would love to say at this point of the podcast? I would love to say that I would like to take a moment to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online, or hey, now you can go in person and visit their store in Victoria, British Columbia. Open 6 days a week, except holidays, and shipping online orders daily. We also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is, of course, Landsharks, JP's Geo Designs, Limax, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and our latest, Cashly.
That's right. If you want to know more about supporting the show, why don't you click on the cashingnw.com website.
Well done. Very well done.
Thank you. I worked hard on that. Much like Genies did.
And Wet Coaster and Greenwords.
And LG 9000.
The Camp Clan.
MC3 Cats.
Trexer Zero.
Dora Moore.
Sprouter.
That's just a little creepy. Not you, Jim.
A little?
Billy Robson.
Keats 94.
Sega Hove.
Kev MacD.
My coin buddy, Seebeck Tribe.
Dune Buddy.
Team Noltex.
Acrodoc.
Boomer 365.
Geo Navpros.
Tick Magnet.
Fairwood West.
Nerve.
On a Boat.
The Geo Travelers.
T. Sayer.
Highlands Guy.
Broncos Fan for Life.
Kennel Barb.
Logwork.
Kitty Quest.
Wino Seattle.
Kid Vegas 19.
Antaeus.
B. Pendragon.
Ala Robrick.
Subway Mark.
GSM times 2.
CRS 98.
And Cashley, who we had on last week. Thanks to him and everybody on that list. We appreciate you all.
We do. We do. We appreciate y'all. And folks, if you want to find out more about the hosts of this fine show, well, you know what? We're out there on the social medias. You can find us. We're not hard to find. In fact, if you want to find me, I've been putting this in your face all night. So that's not hard. But, come to the Caching in the Northwest, cashingnw.com website. Look at the hosts page, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff on there. And hey, it might even help you with a where I go one day.
Yeah, we're out there. One of us is good on Cures Ed.
Hey, folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or help us jog our memory any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or even a review. The show's produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2020 by Chris Umfenauer. Folks, I hope you give us a thumbs up and some time for
The After Show.
The After Show.
The after show.
Hey, this whole bus idea is starting to take off.
Is it?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Geo Travelers wants to know if it's a short bus.
Duh.
Yes, clearly.
The smart couple wants to know if they can get a radio channel so we can tune in the car.
In the smart
Nice.
car.
There you go.
Yeah. Carlos says, yes, it's definitely a short bus.
He gets us.
Coon and Bud has a CDL.
Hey.
Threeham says, what? We're still in the regular show? I joined late.
It's the regular show, yes.
Oh, so Coon and Bud's called driver. Chris is the host. GSM times 2 says, if Chris is taking us down in memory lane, I'll put a chair on the roof. Carlos is going to bring the beer and tunes.
Nice. My kind of guy.
And a lampshade for someone to wear.
That's definitely Fatas. Yeah.
I got a big head. Bring a big lampshade.
It might be he might be the docent as I try to concentrate on driving while Chris is talking.
Okay.
That seems like a good deal.
Yeah, the smart couple's going to bring team shirts if they can get a spot on the bus.
Are they like
Wow.
bowling shirts?
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
This is starting to sound like we may have to try and pull this off.
And Stark Casher says the wheels on the bus, well, they go round and round.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we may have to do something. Hey, did you know what Carlos did?
No.
He finally downloaded Cachly.
Way to
Wise
go,
choice.
Carlos.
Bought the offline maps with a tip to the developer.
Aw.
That's great, but I'm not going to take all the credit for the advice because it was a group effort here last week on the episode. There was some great stuff.
Cachly's amazing.
Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, and that was
Started to realize I should have done this earlier.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seaback Tribe says, Land Monkey, you're killing me with your animated voice.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that I've murdered someone. It's it's kind of upsetting news.
It's just funny how we've kind of put personalities with the names.
Yes.
The names will be pronounced in a manner. It's just funny. It's just happened over time. It's nothing we thought about and decided, oh, this is the way we should do it.
Like Kitty Quest.
Kitty Quest.
We don't know why Kitty Quest has to be whispered. It just does.
It just happened. And Hacker Doc.
Yep. Just like LG 9000.
Yeah.
It's fun. Well, glad you appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's fun to be fun, but you have to know how. All right, as the Cat in the Hat says. What else have we got here?
Here when your mother is out.
There's lots of tasks.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know if I'll be able to find them and put them up there. Iham says, was somebody from Caching in the Northwest spying on B Pendragon and I as we replumbed the kitchen sink?
Because of the plumbing comments out of the
Yeah.
start of the show. There you go.
That was actually me. I had a plumbing issue last week.
I've spent quality time under my kitchen sink in the last month as well.
That's right. You
I've
have.
spent many hours under my kitchen sink over the years. Never have they been very memorable or enjoyable, I should say.
There you go.
Hours under there. I can do plumbing. I don't enjoy plumbing.
Oh,
Imagine. I'm going to go with Imagine T Media, or Imagine It.
I
Media.
think Imaginette. Yeah.
Imagine It. Says, where is the after show? Well, the after show, for those of you who are new, just follows the show, thus the whole after show name. We've officially ended the podcast. We've done the closing. If you want to stay and listen, great. We just have an opportunity to chat with our live listeners as opposed to those who are no longer live. I don't know how that works. Anyway, that's more of a seance. We do that a lot later.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Sorry. Oh, I'm in a mood.
This is the after show to
This
answer the
is
question.
after show. There's really no topic. We answer your questions, anything you want to talk about.
The after show.
Ooh,
Oh, even echoey here.
yeah. Look out, Lisa says it's channel 2.
What else? Oh, Carlos had suggested maybe in the future do a podcast on how to properly document trackables, geocoins, etc.
Ooh,
The chat lackey said that we actually did cover that back in episode 111, trackable etiquette. That's a lot of podcasts ago. We're in 358 tonight.
247 podcasts ago.
It's a good binary number, though.
It is a good binary number, but
7, I
maybe it's time we bring that topic back.
You know what? We'll do that. We'll talk about trackable etiquette.
Yep. Okay, so that's a good one. We can definitely.
What side of the plate should you put the dog tag on, and which side should the geocoin go on?
Exactly. And just for clarity, Donna wants to know, so we can talk about anything, right? Yeah, anything that won't get us kicked off the internet.
Yeah.
Donna, you can talk about anything. We may not acknowledge it.
There you go.
It depends. Did you get a letter from the president? Oh, never mind. That's a different story.
That's a different story for another time. Oh gosh. Carlos, yes, please and thank you. About doing the show. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking, what's he talking about? What did I just talk about? Okay, got it. Yeah, so we will revisit that topic in the future. Absolutely.
Oh, so Imagine T Media is Mr. Gigabyte.
Ah, there you go. Putting the pieces together here, are we?
It's like a puzzle. Thank you. He's been caching a while.
Yes,
I've heard
indeed.
that. Awesome. Welcome.
Limax says I heard something on a show about a coordinate system.
That would be fun.
We'd have to be coordinated to do it.
We would. We'd have to bring in somebody who's an expert on that.
Huh. Maybe like a Limax.
Perhaps.
Hmm.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do that too. We can look into that for sure. I want to.
Maybe we should bring in somebody like GSM times 2. He says he better finish making a PowerPoint presentation, or look out, Lisa and Kid Vegas 19 are going to be mad at him.
Sounds like he's got work to do tonight.
Well, we should have him on the show for whatever that presentation is.
There you go. It's probably needed for Friday's map night that Lisa hosts every night. I'm scrolling way back. We didn't get to this during the show, but a memory from Keats 94 of his geocaching experiences says he has a memory of chatting with a muggle on a marijuana cloud 9 about life on a park bench in Kamloops. Well, he tried finding the geocache under the bench. The muggle gave him an amethyst marble, figuring that Keats needed it. I guess maybe he thought he had lost his marbles. That's a pretty funny story, Keats, and that sounds like a pretty typical experience in Kamloops, just from my own experience having lived there for a little while. So yeah.
Are they loopy there?
Yeah.
Kamloopy?
It's a beautiful place, but it's a little rural. at times. So
Really?
If women
Yeah.
don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
exactly. Keep your stick on the ice. Um,
Pulling for you.
Carlos remembered the first time he met another geocacher in the wild.
Mm.
That's always a memorable experience.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Or when you think they're a geocacher, maybe
Mm.
they're not, maybe they are. You're not sure yet.
Turns out he was just a law enforcement officer after all.
yeah,
Hey, did you find this one yet? He didn't.
They didn't see the humor in that.
No, he didn't.
I thought I was going to jail that day because of wits end.
because of certain people.
It was an honest question.
was.
Geocaching near car dealerships at night, maybe not the best move.
Not the best. No.
Oh, guys.
And I
Too
didn't have one of these here Muggle cards with the fancy green screen transparency that they didn't even know they published.
lets you see right through your head.
Yeah, a lot of people have done that. But yeah,
I was gonna say
Sometimes there's
GSM
nothing
times.
in your head. See?
There you go.
See
Yeah.
right through it?
All kinds of magic technology
Ooh.
tonight. GSM times 2 earlier had said that he remembers walking around GeoWoodstock in North Carolina looking for a ride to the airport and ended up meeting a new friend, Susan Angel. And they've geocached at the Ape event and GeoWoodstock. So it's the friends you get to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the beauty of the game. So very cool.
Boy, yeah. GeoWoodstocks and airports and yeah. Emergency friends, can you come pick me up because my flight got canceled? Yeah.
good times.
It happens. There you go. All right. Well, what do you think?
I saw Keats got recalled back to work.
Oh no. Oh, actually, that's probably good.
That's
Oh,
good. Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
That is good. Sorry, I thought recalled there was a call out and he had to go now, but it means that he gets to go.
yeah.
That's good.
No longer furloughed.
Robin says, what about being chased by the RCMP when looking suspicious when you're looking for a cat?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's just hypothetically speaking, I think.
Yeah. All things you don't really want to do. Yeah. Law enforcement encounters. That's probably another good show topic.
Yes. And how you should do them properly.
Yes.
Yes. And to paraphrase to 3M's, why is the rum always gone?
Indeed.
Oh. Hey, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the official end of the after show. And that means it's time to go to bed. Unless you're listening to this while you're driving. And that's a really bad idea.
Please don't go to bed.
Please
if
stay
you're
awake,
listening to this
yes.
while you're driving.
Folks, until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.